If you come again to this world, would you still want to be a woman? Being a woman is strength, it's resilience, and it's power. It's International Women's Day. All that and more coming up on Justice is Real. Is it just me? Do you think women in Nigeria and the Western world are having more rights and getting more involved? For many years, women worldwide have fought for their rights. Whether in Nigeria or the Western world, the journey to gender equality has been long and challenging. On this International Women's Day, I'm looking at the past struggles, the present achievements, and the future of women's rights, both in Nigeria and across the world. Women in both Nigeria and the West face discrimination in many aspects of life, from voting and education to career opportunities and leadership even. Voting rights. Back then, women in southern Nigeria gained voting rights in 1954 and women in the north had to wait till 1976. There were education restrictions. Many girls were denied formal education with societal expectations, keeping them in domestic roles. And there were political barriers. Women were absent from Nigerian politics before the return to democracy in 1999. In the Western world, United States for instance, women won the right to vote in 1920 according to the 19th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. In United Kingdom, women gained full voting rights in 1928 after years of suffrage movements. In France, women were denied the right to vote until 1944, much later than any other European nation. As of today, do you think women in Nigeria and the Western world have made great strides? I think so, but I agree there are still some challenges. Laws have changed though, and more women are stepping into leadership, education and business, but there are still challenges to overcome. What challenges do you think we have to overcome? Let me know in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe. There are some key achievements in women's rights in Nigeria. In terms of education, more girls now attend school than ever before, with university enrollment increasing since the 1990s. In politics, in 2021, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala became the first female and African Director General of the World Trade Organization. Now there are laws against gender-based violence. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015 made domestic violence a crime in Nigeria. In the Western world, in terms of leadership, Kamala Harris became the first female US Vice President in 2021. In terms of workplace rights, countries like Iceland and Norway have closed the gender pay gap significantly. Legal progress is another thing. In 2018, Saudi Arabian women won the right to drive, one of the last major victories for gender equality in the region. Some of the challenges I still see are women in politics, for instance. Nigerian women hold less than 7% of political offices, and the US Congress is still male-dominated. In terms of gender pay gap, Nigerian women earn 20% less than men on average worldwide. In terms of violence against women, domestic abuse remains a global crisis, even in developed nations. Let me know what challenges you still think are there. Comment in the comment section. Or I will talk about it in my next video. I'll refer to your comments. Despite the challenges, there is no better time in history to be a woman. Don't you think women have more legal rights than ever before? In 1900s, women in most countries couldn't vote or own property or work without permission from their male relatives. Now, women can vote in nearly every country, and more than 100 countries have laws against gender discrimination. The World Bank reports that 98% of countries now have laws ensuring equal pay, and major economies like the EU and US enforce gender pay transparency. More girls are in school than ever before. Before the 1950s, most girls, especially in developing nations, did not attend school. Now, global female literacy has reached over 90% compared to just 50% in the 1970s. In many Western countries, more women than men graduate from universities. Women make up 58% of college graduates in the US. particularly in 2023. Women are gaining political power. 100 years ago, almost no country had female leaders. Today, women lead nations with more female heads of state than ever before. Giorgia Meloni in Italy, Kaja Kallas in Estonia, and Sama Suluhu in Tanzania. In Rwanda, 61% of parliament members are women, the highest in the world. Economic opportunities have increased for women. More women are CEOs, the boss lady. In 2023, 10% of Fortune 500 CEOs were women, compared to 0% in 1995. We have Francois Myers, Isabel Dos Santos, Oprah Winfrey, Folorunsho Alakija. In the area of women's wealth is growing. In 2021, women controlled 83 trillion in global wealth, expected to reach 110 trillion by 2025. There are more women-owned businesses. In Nigeria, for instance, women own 40% of small and medium-sized enterprises. There is more protection against gender-based violence too. The #MeToo movement of 2017 led to stronger laws against workplace harassment. Over 160 countries now have laws against domestic violence compared to only 10 in 1960. Don't you think there is so much to celebrate about women? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Women have more control now over their lives than ever before. There is marriage freedom. According to UNICEF, child marriage has declined globally, dropping from 1 in 4 girls to 1 in 5 in 2020. Women are breaking barriers in sports and entertainment. Serena Williams became the most decorated female tennis player. The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 had record-breaking viewership than any other time in history. You know what? I have mentioned great achievements from great women. Women who have shattered barriers, challenged the status quo, and paved the way for future generations. This International Women's Day, we must celebrate our collective achievements. Not just the famous names, but every woman who wakes up each day and chooses to make a difference. If I can come again to this world, I will still want to be a woman, because being a woman is strength, it's resilience, and it's power. So today, let's celebrate every daughter, every sister, every aunt, every niece, every woman who continues to strive, to dream, and to make this world a better place. Happy International Women's Day. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.